How true is this saying? Show me your friend and I will tell you who you are. I'll tell you a little story about an eaglet. And so a farmer woke up from his farm one morning, came outside to feed his chickens, and noticed there was a strange creature among his chickens. On a closer look, he discovered it was an eaglet. Amazed, he got closer to the eaglet, picked it up, and noticed that nothing was wrong with it. It was just there. And the farmer decided to return the eaglet. The eaglet started eating with the chickens, fed the eaglet with the same food he used to feed his chicken. And before you know it, the eaglet started behaving like chicken, plays with the chicken, speaks like the chicken, eats the same food with the chicken, does everything like the chickens. But one day, one fateful day, a scientist came into the farm and looked around and discovered the same thing and saw the eaglet and said, Hey, hey buddy, what is this eaglet doing here? I said, What? Well, the same question I asked myself the first day I set my eyes on it on my farm. I said, But this is an eaglet. It ought to be somewhere above, not where this eaglet is right now. And so the scientists picked up the eaglet and threw it up. The eaglet fell back to the floor, came back to the chickens, started playing with the chickens again. The scientists didn't give up, picked it up again, and threw the eaglet up. The eaglet shook his body and looked back and saw his folks and came back to the floor, fell back. And the scientist said no. And the farmer said, Hey, you're just wasting your time. This eaglet has been eating chicken food. He's befriend with these chickens. Be almost all its life he's been here. So I'm not sure this eaglet wants to go somewhere else. He has his life here. And the scientist said, No, this is an eaglet. It ought to be soaring above. This is not just an ordinary bird. This is something bigger than the chickens you have here. And for the third time, the scientists pick up the eaglet again and threw the eaglet up. But behold, this time around, the eaglet shook its body, shook its feather, shook again, and shook for the third time. And the eaglet flew away into the sky above, far, 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 far beyond the sight of the chickens, and flew away. And guess what? It never returned to the farm. Yes. And sometimes so back to the saying, show me your friend and I will tell you who you are. It doesn't apply in most cases. Yes, it doesn't. It doesn't apply in most cases. Some people befriend some people for some reasons, some obvious reasons. I once had a friend many years ago. She has a bad leg. She's a cripple. She has two bad legs, and nobody wants to be her friend in school. And I saw that she was always lonely, and I got very very close to her. Kelechi she has a golden heart. She's a lovely creature. Oh, she's one of my best buddies. I got very close to her and I discovered that she is not just a cripple, she's just her soul, her spirit, her mind is all golden. She could be crippled, yes, she's physically crippled, but she has a golden heart. So whenever we play and I hold her crushes. I say, come on, walk towards me, daughter of God. And she will smile and say, TJ, not now. Please let me have my clutches back. And I'll give her clutches. She is always a wonderful soul to behold. So, so when somebody tells you, because you're sitting with a prostitute, you are a prostitute, tell the person you are not, because you're different. Moving with arm robber doesn't make you an arm robber. It could be for a particular reason. Yes, I once had so many friends. My best friend is in college. was a smoker. He smoked weed. Yes, he smoked weed. And one day, the dad called me and said, "Hey, young man, you don't smoke. You don't womanize. My son is a smoker. He sells weed. Even in SS1, he sells weed. He supplied weed. I will be going with him selling weed. SS2, SS3, he was selling those things. That was what he used to pay his school fees because weed are expensive. But behold, one of those days, I took him to church, and that was how his life changed. Until date, we're still friends. He's still my paddy. Until date, he's still a good guy. He stopped doing those things, and he's a changed man. So, what is your response to this? Show me your friend, and I will tell you who you are. Is your boy, area boy TJ. You do have a lovely day ahead of you, and stay positive. Thanks for watching again.